But look at the person sitting across from you. Do you see a friend? Or do you see a predator who has simply learned to eat with a fork? You believe betrayal is a sudden act, a dagger in the dark. You are wrong. In my time, as in yours, the most dangerous enemies are those who wear the mask of loyalty so long it begins to sweat. I have watched empires crumble not because of the enemy at the gate, but because of the whisper in the hallway. They do not stab you today. They sharpen the blade while you sleep, one soft stroke at a time. I have returned to teach you how to hear the whetstone. To understand how a man is betrayed slowly, you must first understand how a man is used. In the winter of 1502, I traveled to Romagna. There I observed a man who understood the mechanics of power better than any king. Cesare Borgia. He had a problem. The province of Romagna was a chaos of lawless lords and banditry. To tame it, he needed a monster. He chose a man named Ramiro de Orco, a cruel, efficient, and ruthless executioner. Borgia gave Ramiro full power. He let him do the dirty work. He let him spill the blood, collect the taxes, and earn the hatred of the people. While Ramiro was busy being the loyal hand, Borgia was already planning his end. You see, a slow betrayal begins with utility. In your modern world, you call this mentorship, or partnership, or being a team player. But look closer. Are you being given authority, or are you being given liability? The slow betrayer is a master of the gradual handoff. They start by giving you the tasks that carry the most risk. They praise your boldness while they sit in the shadows unsoiled. They are building a narrative where you are the face of the problem and they are the eventual solution. Ramiro de Orco thought he was rising. He thought his cruelty made him indispensable to the prince. He mistook permission for protection. Then came the morning of December 26th. The people of Cesena woke to find Ramiro de Orco in the town square. He had been cut in 2 pieces. Beside him was a block of wood and a bloody knife. The message from Borgia was silent but deafening. I did not want this cruelty. He did it of his own accord. I have punished the monster to protect you. With one stroke, Borgia gained the order Ramiro had established and the love of the people who hated Ramiro. This is the first stage of the slow betrayal, the setup of the scapegoat. Ask yourself, is your friend or colleague pushing you to take the lead on the very things that might fail? Are they quietly distancing their name from your projects while whispering, I trust your judgment in your ear? They are not trusting you. They are positioning you. They are waiting for the moment where your having benefits their reputation. In my day, it was a town square in Cesena. In yours, it is a leaked email, a HR report, or a social exile. The dagger isn't coming for your back yet. They are currently busy sharpening it on your own ambition. Before we move to the psychological indicators, remember this. A man who gives you all the power but none of the credit is not your benefactor. He is your future executioner. The fool waits for the dagger. The strategist watches the eyes. Betrayal is a chemical reaction that begins with a single drop of contempt. No man betrays another whom he truly respects. Therefore, the slow betrayal is preceded by a series of small, calculated tests of disrespect. What you might call microaggressions, but what I call the probing of the perimeter. A predator does not strike a healthy stag immediately. He first nips at the heels to see if the stag will kick back. Observe the little larcenies of your daily life. Does your friend forget to credit you for an idea in a meeting? Do they arrive late to your most important moments, offering a smile that doesn't reach their eyes? These are not accidents. They are subconscious auditions. They are testing the boundaries of your self-worth. If you accept the small slight, you have signaled to their lizard brain that you are a safe target for the larger theft. The psychology of the betrayer follows a specific arc, the debt of gratitude. In my time at the Florentine Chancellery, I noticed a recurring pattern. If you do a man a great favor, you do not always gain an ally. Often you gain a debtor. And most men hate their creditors. Your excellence, your kindness, and your competence act as a mirror that reflects their own inadequacy. To live with themselves, they must destroy the mirror. They begin by devaluing the gift. They tell themselves and others that you didn't really help them or that you had an ulterior motive. They start the whisper campaign. This is the most dangerous phase of the slow betrayal because it happens in the rooms you are not in. They are building a coalition of the mediocre. They find others who envy you, and together they construct a version of reality where you are the villain. By the time the actual betrayal occurs, they have already convinced the world and themselves that you deserved it. Look for the silence of the successful. When you win, does your ally go quiet? Do they look for a flaw in your victory rather than celebrating the achievement? True loyalty is loud in your triumphs and quiet in your failures. The betrayer is the opposite. They are your loudest mourner at your funeral, but they were the most silent guest at your coronation. They are waiting for the social license to strike. They need you to make one mistake, one human error, so they can point their finger and say, "See? I knew they were like this all along." They don't want to be the bad guy. They want to be the hero who finally stood up to you. In the Renaissance, we had the Borgia cup, a poisoned chalice. In your century, the poison is delivered through a like, a share, or the chilling absence of both. Do not be deceived by the speed of your technology. The human heart still beats at the same slow, treacherous pace. The modern betrayer is a ghost in the machine. They do not need to steal your land. They only need to steal your digital reputation. Watch for the passive saboteur. This is the colleague who forgets to CC you on the email chain, where the critical decision was made. This is the friend who posts a photo where you look diminished, hidden under the guise of sharing a memory. They are using plausible deniability, the ultimate shield of the coward. If you confront them, they call you sensitive or paranoid. They gaslight the stag so the stag stops trusting its own instincts. In my day, if a man stopped eating at your table, you knew his heart had turned. Today, the signs are more subtle. It is the shifting response time. When an ally begins to betray you slowly, their availability becomes a commodity. They are deprioritizing you in the digital hierarchy. They are waiting to see if you are still useful to the new power center they are secretly courting. Then there is the selective silence. Look at your inner circle when you are being attacked by the mob. The slow betrayer will not join the mob, not yet. They will simply stand on the sidelines watching to see which way the wind blows. They are neutral. But as I wrote in The Prince, neutrality is often the refuge of those who wish to inherit the spoils of the loser without the risk of the fight. By staying silent while you are slandered, they are granting the slanderer permission. They are measuring the size of your grave to see if their furniture will fit in your house. The most modern form of betrayal is the information leak. They collect your vulnerabilities under the mask of vulnerability themselves. They encourage you to open up, to share your fears, your unfiltered thoughts. In the Renaissance, we called this spying. Today, you call it deep conversation. They are not bonding with you. They are filing your secrets away for a day when they need a currency to trade for their own advancement. They are the secret keepers who wait for the highest bidder. The wisdom is not the ability to avoid enemies. It is the ability to force them to reveal themselves before they are ready. A predator thrives on a predictable environment. To catch a betrayer, you must disrupt the rhythm of the hunt. You must become a tactical chaotic. In the courts of Italy, we did not ask a man if he was loyal. Only a fool expects the truth from a liar. Instead, we applied the test of inconvenience. Law 1. The test of the vanishing utility. The slow betrayer is with you because you provide a harvest, status, money, emotional labor, or protection. To see their heart, you must stop the rain, feign a temporary fall from grace. Tell them you have lost a key connection or that your influence in a certain circle has waned. Watch their eyes. The loyal man will move closer to offer a shoulder. The betrayer will begin to scan the room for the exit. If their response time to your messages suddenly stretches from minutes to days once you are useless, you have found your snake. Law 2. The mirror of envy share. A minor victory that is purely yours, something they cannot claim credit for. A betrayer can endure your shared success, but they cannot stomach your independent glory. Do they? Yes, but your achievement? Do they immediately bring up someone else who did it better? Or worse? Do they offer a compliment that feels like a veiled insult? It's amazing you achieved that considering your background. That is not a friend. That is a competitor who hasn't found his opening yet. Law 3. The false secret. The Judas trap. This is my most trusted method. Feed the suspected betrayer a secret that is juicy, slightly damaging, but ultimately harmless to your core interests. It must be a piece of information that only they know. Then you wait. If that secret returns to you through the mouth of a third party, you have your proof. You haven't lost anything of value, but you have purchased the truth of their character for the price of a lie. You now know exactly where the leak is. Law 4. The observation of the subordinate. How do they treat those who can do nothing for them? I have often said that a man's nature is best seen when he is not performing for power. If your ally is cruel to the servant but sweet to the prince, remember, to them, you are currently the prince. The moment your fortunes flip, they will treat you exactly as they treat the servant. Their kindness is a strategic investment, not a character trait. When the dividends stop, the kindness evaporates. Now that you have the tools to see the scales, I must warn you, the truth is a heavy burden. Once you see the betrayal, you cannot unsee it. Are you prepared for what comes next? Now that I have pulled back the curtain, you feel a coldness, do you not? You look at your inner circle and you see shadows where there used to be light. This is the price of awakening. But here is my warning. Do not become a monster to avoid being eaten by one. The most common mistake of the betrayed is to descend into a blind, frantic paranoia. If you suspect everyone, you can trust no one. And a leader who trusts no one is a leader who must do everything himself. That is a path to exhaustion and eventual collapse. The prince's shield is not a wall, it is a sieve. You must learn to live with strategic trust. You do not trust a man because he is good. You trust him because his interests are currently aligned with yours. In my time, I did not look for a saint to guard my door. I looked for a man whose own life depended on that door staying closed. The moment you realize someone is betraying you slowly, do not react. This is the hardest rule. If you strike too early, you look like the aggressor. If you show your hand, they will change their tactics and move deeper into the shadows. Instead, perform the quiet decoupling. Slowly, without fanfare, begin to move your vital organs out of their reach. Move your secrets, your finances, and your reputation to higher ground. Let them keep the husk of the relationship while you withdraw the seed. Let them believe they are still winning. Let them believe you are still the naive stag. There is no greater advantage in strategy than being underestimated by someone who thinks they have already defeated you. Remember, a betrayal is only too late if you have tied your entire identity to the betrayer. If you remain independent in your soul, their treachery is merely a change in the weather. It may be a storm, but you are the mountain. Mountains do not fear the rain. They are washed by it. You came here seeking a way to save your friendships. You leave here with the tools to save yourself. There is a final truth that most are too cowardly to utter, even to their own reflection. To be powerful is to be, in some sense, profoundly alone. The masses crave the warmth of unconditional trust. They want to believe in the fairy tale of the loyal-to-the-death ally. But the prince knows that unconditional is a word used only by those who have never had anything worth stealing. Everything in this world has a condition. Everything has a price. Do not mourn the loss of your illusions. To see the world as it is, cruel, transactional, and shifting, is the greatest gift you can receive. It is the gift of agency. When you stop expecting people to be good and start expecting them to be human, you can no longer be disappointed. You can only be prepared. They will betray you slowly, yes. But they can only destroy what you have left unguarded. Keep your circles wide, but your counsel small. Keep your kindness visible, but your steel ready. And above all, remember, the man who can be happy in his own company is a man that no traitor can truly touch. Go now. Watch the smiles. Listen to the silences. And when the first crack appears in the foundation of your loyal alliances, do not cry out in pain. Smile, for you saw it coming. You were the only one in the room who was truly awake. I am Machiavelli. I have seen the rise and fall of all things, and I tell you it is better to be feared and respected by the wise than to be loved and betrayed by the foolish. Trust the law of nature, not the heart of man.